Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Thank you for joining us. It's time for
We want you to be in the know.
Yes, absolutely. Happy Monday evening. Welcome to the show that exists because we want you to be in the know. My name is Ray. I'm your host. And joining me tonight is the one, the only, Brother Tom Hawk.
Hey, how are y'all? Thanks for joining us.
Our audience is going insane. Brother Tom, thank you so much for joining us tonight on our first episode of In the Know. If you're joining us online, hey, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome. Please comment hello. If you have questions for us, ask those questions in the comments. We will try to answer those at the end of the show. Otherwise, comment throughout, interact with us as we just have a fun time talking together. Speaking of talking, let's just get right into it. Your role at FBC, what is it?
Official title, Minister of Church Ministries. That just means that I get to work with all the ministry leaders on making sure they have all the resources that they need and that they are adequately discipling and working with their teams and that we all communicate with one another.
Absolutely. So, 2020, 2021, all great years, so many things happening in life of FBC. But all we're really going to do is just get a little update on 2022 this far. And it's only 3 months, but so much has happened. What are just a few of those things that have happened this year alone?
We've seen some great dynamic changes in our worship team, all volunteer worship team, I might add, which we're so appreciative of and all the things that they do for us and how they have worked. We had a great successful night of worship, our very first one in January, the 5th Sunday of January. Also, one will be coming up, so beware and watch and be mindful of that. We also have had our student ministry have done Hot Hearts. They've done a launch retreat. They did a spring break hangout. They've done a lot of things that have really gelled the whole student ministry. Our kids ministry is really active and working, and we have done a few things in there, and they've had a great opportunity where they came and they joined us on Sunday morning for worship, which was a great day of worship that Sunday morning. Had them as choir alongside of our volunteer worship team, and fantastic job. Our young adults has completed one whole session of one round of 8 weeks of meeting together, and we call that the gathering. So that was huge. We also continue, and we've seen a great added involvement to our daytime activities, which all happen mostly all over the Jones Activity Campus with lunch and bingo, Texercise. We have our women's worship and walking. We have a number of different things that happen every single day here at our church.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think that people miss out when we think of a church or that I just go to church and that's just a Sunday morning activity. Or if you're extra Christian or extra spiritual, that's a Sunday morning and Sunday night and Wednesday night. But there's things happening every single day from sunrise to sunset, and a lot of times past sunset into the night.
Right.
And any given night, you could drive by at 2 or 3 in the morning, and there's going to be somebody around doing something. So really, is there no point at any time that the church is just vacant and doing nothing?
Right.
And it's so important to know that there's always something happening, literally for every age group, every demographic, no matter who you are, what level you are, Christian, not Christian, churchy, not churchy, whatever it is, there's something to be doing within these walls, or at least associated with these walls.
Right.
Constant action happening all the time. So many great things have happened, so many more great things to come. But let's take a break from talking for just a moment, and let's play a little game. That's right, it's game time.
Fumble red card.
You're out!
Game time.
Hello again to all of you joining us online. Remember, comment hello. If you got a question, feel free to ask that question. Let's get right into this game. Tonight's game is called Name That Animal. In a second, Brother Tom, on this screen is going to be a picture of an animal covered up. And if you need a hint, we'll uncover a part of that picture. Hopefully you don't have to have any of those hints, but we'll slowly unveil the picture until you can correctly guess what that animal is. Okay. So if you're joining us at home and if you can see our screen as best of your ability, play along with us. Comment what animal you think it is. Without further ado, let's get into our first animal of the night. Need a hint? Need a hint?
Okay, dog.
Oh, he's right. It's a dog. Let's keep going here. Dog. What is this one?
Giraffe.
A giraffe. Correct. All right.
I am definitely going to say a snake.
It is a snake. Good so far. 3 for 3. Is that what that is? All right. All right. That's a little interesting.
I would have to say that would be a snail.
A snail. Lovely creature. All right. What do we got here?
This is like those things at home. Everybody's already picked it, and you're still trying to hippopotamus.
Hippopotamus. Yes, it is. Got a couple more here.
Ladybug.
Ladybug it is. Let's see.
And a deer.
It is
an antelope.
It is
That's
a
a deer.
deer. It's a
Reindeer.
reindeer.
Okay.
All right. Couple more.
I'm going to say a rabbit.
A rabbit. It is a rabbit. What do we think?
Well, my guess would be polar bear.
2 legs, huh? Polar bear, it is. I think we got 2 more here.
A bat.
Bat. It is a bat. Okay, this one's a tough one.
I'm going to say that is a mouse or a rat.
It's a mouse.
A mouse, okay. That would have to be an octopus.
Octopus. Oh.
Ooh is right. Ooh is right. Maybe unveil the curtain a little more.
Well, I thought you could tell by just the feet. Come on.
I was like, happy feet. Yeah,
happy
penguins.
Feet. Happy feet. Penguins it is. There are definitely more than 2. Sorry, I was wrong. We got a few more.
We'll go with porcupine.
You're not. I think it's the official name of a porcupine. Do you happen to know like a more scientific name? I think because this is what they call it. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Echidna.
An echidna. Okay. No, I did not know that name. I do now. So
we learned.
When we go in science class in the academy, I can say that's an echidna. That's not just a porcupine.
I don't know if it's a version of a porcupine or hedgehog.
Camel.
Camel.
Mm-hmm. A one-hump camel. Okay, I'm gonna go with a kangaroo.
Kangaroo. All right, this is officially the last one. This was really it.
This would have to be an ape or a gorilla.
An ape or a gorilla.
A gorilla? Okay.
It is a gorilla. Wow, that was our first game time. We survived it.
Not in the
we
know
survived
on
it.
those.
We did it. So we kind of got an update on 2022 thus far. Some of this are key highlights. It would take hours to really get into and talk about really what has happened on a day-to-day basis within our church family, because there's so much that's happening. But if we were to kind of look ahead, not just back at what's happened, but what's coming and going to happen, just the next 2 months. So just the rest of the spring semester. So we're only talking April, and we're already in April. April and May, just in those 2 months alone, what are some of the things that are coming up in those 2 months?
Okay. Our kids ministry is reorganized into smaller age groups, into younger age groups, and kind of regrouped the kids. So every Wednesday night and Sundays, because we moved the 6th graders into a middle school ministry of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. That is just begun and will carry on through this semester. We have created a middle school ministry and a high school ministry. Our young adults are about to relaunch another session of meeting together and the gathering, and that will start in the end of April.
Yes.
So watch for all the media that's coming up. All of our Vacation Bible School registration information is already out there. It's most of all this stuff is on the front page of our website, fbcsilsby.org,
Yes.
so that people can just connect a button and find out some information or register or do some things like that. Our women's ministry is about to relaunch again with a monthly fellowship, and that information will also be forthcoming. Not quite ready yet because all the details aren't finalized. A great thing that you have just begun to advertise and to launch is the Learn to Play, where people can voluntarily sign up to come. Tell me about that a little
Yeah,
bit.
let's talk about that for just a second. So the Learn to Play thing is a brand new idea that our creative arts team has decided to do. And what this is it's an introductory class to 3 different instruments: guitar, piano, and drum set. And so it's an introductory class, meaning you don't have to have any experience or any knowledge or ever even touch one of these instruments. We're going to get them in your hands, get you sitting at them, playing them during these classes. So a way to register for that is, like you said, fbcsilsby.org. Right there on the front page, if you just barely scroll down, there's a circle that says Learn to Play Registration. Click that. It's free. It costs $0. Starts the Thursday after Easter. Led by our creative arts team, we'll introduce you to the basic techniques, layout, the basic knowledge that you need to know to start on that said instrument. You can take one class. You can take all 3 of the classes every week. It's totally up to you. We invite you, love for you to take all 3 classes. But we're excited about that Learn to Play thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're really excited about it. It's a great opportunity to introduce you to music, Christian music, our worship team, our church. It's just going to be a lot of fun. It's a really neat idea. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. I signed up for all 3. I've also asked Gail to sign up for the piano, the keyboard class, because I think if I learn guitar and she learns a little bit of the keyboard, we can just sit at home and enjoy. These are great skills that you can just use all your life.
Absolutely.
And you can learn at any age, because I've heard of people, even in their 80s, learning these new skills, and that you will use them. You don't have to use them anywhere else, but just for your own pleasure and enjoyment.
And just in case you wonder about age, currently we have ages registered from 8 years old all the way through 60+ years old. So anywhere in between and older is always more than welcome to encourage to register for that and be a part of that.
The deal is, though, because you promised that I would be able to play a song by the end of those 4 weeks.
That is true. The goal is that by the end of that 4th week, assuming you attend every week and you put in effort and practice at home, because only a 45-minute class, okay? Miracles do happen, but not probably in that moment. The goal is that you will be able to play some simple 3-chord songs. If you don't know what a chord is, don't worry. It's a basic intro class, so you'll know what a chord is on day 1.
Okay.
So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Some other things coming up, I know, is Divorce Care is going to be launching at the end of April as well.
Correct. That'll be on Sunday night, starting on the 24th, and we got a great team of facilitators, and Don and Jill Norwood they volunteered. They've also experienced that. Divorce Care helped minister to them, and they said that that's on their heart, to take that ministry and to touch people's lives, to help them through the hurts and the challenges that come through divorce. So that is a 13-week series of lessons. Starts on the 24th of April, a Sunday night at 5:30 p.m. Many people ask about our elevator. How's the status on our elevator? You know, we do designated funds. We've already sent the money away to get the architect to do the renderings, so that when we reach the financial goal, we've got about $120,000 yet to come in to meet that goal, but we're preparing the path in order to, once that money is here, we would break ground on that, and we'd have all those architectural renderings here to go with that. Obviously, the In the Know series, what's happening coming up? I mean, you say this is our first. How else are we going to learn about what's going on in our church? So what is happening? I know, this is kind of exciting. For me, this is very exciting. I don't like being in this seat because I would rather be behind the camera.
It is very exciting because, you know, for so long, it's just been print publication. Over the last few years, we've transitioned to also including like social media, websites. And now this is a whole new take on trying to not only inform our church family, our community about what's going on, but to also like promote it, to get them engaged, to get them excited about it. That's not just the informational thing. It's not a news outlet. It's for you to learn some new things, and then take action on those things, and to be a part, to get involved, be engaged with these things that are happening. Because just in the few conversations, we've already covered things for all ages, for all different aspects, for different walks of life, whatever challenges or struggles that you're going through. We have parent ministry small groups. So if you're a parent, we have a small group for that. Divorce care is starting up. We have a men's group that meets. We have a women's group that's about to meet. Outside of our typical Sunday school classes, small groups, there's so many opportunities for people to get involved and engaged. And that's not even talking about like serving yet. That's just kind of surrounding yourself, getting involved, serving. Whole nother world that we will talk about.
We'll get there.
Yes.
We will get there. Yes.
But step one, kind of get in the know about things, and then to actually get into the things, get involved in those.
I know I got a couple other things that are happening right now. We're in preparation as our academy. It is, it's a separate, but yet it is one of our ministries. It is within our church's kids ministry and our student ministry now, because we're launching through the 7th grade. So that it involves both of those, because our outreach into those homes, into those families, is to share Christ with those kids and with all of their extended family. Right. Which is, we are concerned about, one, their academics, but also their spiritual health. Absolutely. We want them to know Jesus. We want them to come to Christ. We want them to join in a fellowship somewhere. And that comes through our church engaging this ministry. And already we've opened up enrollment for our next year. We already have registered 272 students, which is mind-boggling.
That's the most that we've ever registered to date.
That is unbelievable that God has done that and has drawn the people, because they want the kind of thing that we're saying. These things are important.
Right. Your
spiritual health as well as your academic health. Small group where you can get really on track with your education, and we just want to touch those lives.
Yeah, and we believe that the academy is so important that in a couple weeks on a Monday night, we're going to have our academy leadership, Dana and Jennifer, as our guests that night, and talk nothing but the academy, because it's such a great opportunity on all aspects, all parts. From the church's side, getting to love on the community, not only getting to educate the next generation, but to also show them the love of Christ, to point them towards positivity, to good choices, to good character, to the truth, to answers, rather than where the world is a lot of fear and doubt and unknowing and doesn't know what the truth is, or is misled, or we can constantly love and encourage these kids and these families. On the flip side, as I'm a parent who has a child in the academy, knowing that my child is being educated at a high level, but then also being shared the love of Christ and the truth of God's Word, there is not a better combination in my mind. It just doesn't get better than that. And so we most certainly love the Academy as a ministry of our church and as a separate thing, but it is our ministry. It is a part. It is who we are. We love families. We love getting to encourage, support those people, and to point them to Christ ultimately.
Right.
So many good things. Any other really big things happening just through May?
Yes, because, it's pollen season, and if you've noticed your cars are yellow, that means that the grass has started growing. That means that, because in one of your roles here at our church is creative arts, it is worship leader, it is properties care.
Creative properties.
It is, so there's you have a job that is multi-titled. Somebody says, what do you do? It says, what is it that you don't do? Okay, you give the whole direction to this entire team who's here to make this happen tonight, who are all volunteers to come up here. It's not just you and I sitting up here. There's a whole crew of people that are.
There's more behind the camera.
That are way behind
the
scenes that are making all of this happen. So I like the thing that you have come up with, that you've promoted it just a little bit, but we're going to promote it more.
Yes.
Which is, there's so many projects to do around our church properties.
Right.
Properties are way more than just our lawn.
It is not
okay?
lawn
It's way
care.
more than the
We
lawn
do need
care
help on.
is called lawn care,
Right.
and you hire a crew that do lawn care, or we have volunteers from our church family and friends who come and do lawn care.
Right.
But we talk maintaining our church properties and keeping them where they're in great shape. where they do reflect us loving Jesus, us wanting
Absolutely.
people to come in welcome. You know, I went and got, this is not like the Hallmark coffee, okay, where you get the cup of coffee that, you know, and they tip the cup all the way up because it's just fresh from the, and it's really, but I really went and fixed me some hot tea at our new coffee bar. which
Wow,
we're-
check that out.
I did, and I brought it in here, and I
Yeah.
put the fake cup away, and I really got a good cup of hot tea.
If
for
you
'em.
haven't stopped by our church, you know, whether you attend here or not, if you haven't stopped by, we do have 2 coffee bars, one by the office and one at the auditorium entrance, that you should definitely come stop by and chat and have a cup of coffee with us, or tea, or hot chocolate, or you can have hot water, or even cold water.
You
All right, you
can.
got all the
You
options.
can, yes.
But real quick on that property care, the kind of 3 main goals on that is to maintain our properties, which is exactly right, not just our lawn, but our properties. You know, over 7 acres of property, over 70,000 square footage of building space. It's big. It's a lot, and it's all voluntarily done, right? It's all we self-maintain as much as we possibly can, and then repair those properties and then upgrade those things to better utilize for our community, right? Our facilities are not for us and our kingdom, but it's for God's kingdom and to utilize for our community, serve our community better. All good things. We do have, let's see if we got some questions here. It is time for questions. We've got answers. Let's see.
You've got questions. We've got answers.
It looks like all of our questions tonight have already been answered, but just for future reference, if you do have a question during any show or for that ministry leader or kind of generically about our church, feel free to comment a question if you're joining us on Facebook. That's where we'll see those comments, so you can ask a question anytime during a show. We'll try to answer that question. No questions to answer tonight, so we're going to wrap it up. The show is not just newsworthy or informational. Remember, there's purpose behind it for you to get involved and be engaged. So we're going to end every show with a call to action. So right now it's time for our call to action.
This is your call to action.
Oh, I just love that fanfare. All right, our call to action. Call to action.
Like I said, we on the property care, there you've kind of brought forth a couple of things that just said, hey, there's a ways that you can be involved. One is to serve physically. One is to fund it, right?
Right.
What was the other thing?
So yes, sir. Physically is probably going to be it. So on our properties,
Right.
as we present these, coming very soon as we start to promote these different things on our properties to work on, you can fund it or you can finish it. Right. We usually say that you can also serve through prayer. We say in the world of property care team, we do love prayer, but much more than prayer, we love hands-on, actually doing the work. So we offer you 2 options. You can fund it, which means you can specifically fund that project, or you can finish it. You can serve hands-on to get that project done.
Yeah. So take on one, and they can find out a list of. So
Right,
call to
yeah.
action: anything property, anything building, anything inside, outside the facilities is, hey, speak to
Yes,
Ray because he is
absolutely.
that contact person. You can speak to me. I will pass you on to Ray or your information on to Ray. One of the big things of our church family, how we do ministry, is by the gifts, the financial giving of our people. That is such a that is what makes everything happen. Realistically, that is it. You know, without the funds, our ministry leaders, they can't go to camp.
Right.
They can't serve snacks. They can't do different things because they don't have the stuff.
Right.
We don't buy Sunday school literature for our Sunday school classes without the funds. That's what our budget is built off of, is the generosity of the people who give financially to our church. And a call to action is we take about $50,000 a month, so about $600,000 a year, and that just comes through the love of our people saying, I want to meet that need.
Yeah, because as we said, our facilities are used every single day with so many things happening. And as we said, it's a big facility. There's a lot of property, and it just costs money. Everything costs money, and we don't do a whole lot of whatever you want to call it, fundraising, asking for donations, asking for you to give. But it is scriptural that we are to give, and this is a challenge. This is a
Right.
call to action that you would, whether you attend FBC or not, if you believe in the ministry, if you want to support it, hands-on or financially are the most two needed things always. That money always helps somebody else do the work, or you can do the work and somebody else will supply the funding for you to do the work. Great ways. Yeah.
Last big one is every one of our ministry leaders in January, February has put out lists of how you can connect with their ministry. A call to action would be that you actually would connect with their ministry. Pick one. Every one of us as a believer, there's no exclusion from or retirement from being a believer, from being who God has called us to be in serving. And in serving, it is also prayer becomes important for our kids ministry, our student ministry, our young adult ministry, the teams that are here, our worship team, to pray over them, to encourage them. It is. So connect with one of these teams and say, I want to be a prayer partner. Because those ministry leaders then are going to convey with you on a weekly, every other weekly basis that says, here's the prayer request that we have immediately coming up. Here's the things we have happening in April and May that we need you to pray over, that we need you to lay before the Lord and say, help this ministry, and let's encourage that we're calling on God to take care of those needs. I want to say thank you for joining us. Ray, I just want to kind of back up because one of the hardest calls to action, you've put out a little pickup card back in the back, and it's been out there for a couple of months, right?
Yeah.
And it just says First Baptist Church, and it gives a little information on that card because we have a huge day as a believer. We have a huge holiday coming up. We call it a holiday,
Right.
but it is a huge week of celebration. This Holy Week that we're about to enter into is coming up. Easter Sunday, a week from Sunday, is a big time, and we're going to just have church on that day. We're not really doing Bible study. We're doing church for inviting families. Your card says what? What is that card?
All it is an invite card. It just says, come join the family, join us for worship Sunday morning at 10:15 a.m., and it has a church logo. So simple. Right? The challenge is take one card a week and find one person and intentionally invite them to join you, not just to come, but to join you in worship that day. Right? To just come join us in worship. It's such an easy first step, first call to action to doing that.
I want to say just how important it is because 90+%, you look at any research, any Barna or Lifeway or anybody, all those researchers all say that the best way for people to come to church, why they're going to come, is because a friend invited them to come sit with them.
Still personal
A friend,
invitation.
it is. That is still the number one way that people actually come into the doors of a church and sit with you, come to Bible study and sit with you, come to church. And we as believers need to meet them at the door. Back here, wherever I say, I'll meet you at this time, and then you come with me. We'll stay together that whole time. We'll stop by the coffee bar. We'll come on. We'll grab something. We'll come into church. We'll just enjoy worshiping the Lord.
Absolutely.
And that's how they're going to get introduced to the gospel. That's how they're going to get connected. So any of those ways, it is you and I connecting with people outside of the church wall.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. We do a ton of things, like you said. We do everyday activities all the time, and we have people through here all the time, and we make invitation to them. If you don't have a church home, come visit us. If you don't have a place to go and serve, come serve here. If you don't have a place to go and give here. If you don't, okay, it is just that simple. Call to action is get up and start doing something in service of the Lord. So any ways that can happen.
Absolutely. So anytime throughout the week, stop by our church facilities. Tom and I are pretty much always here. Other staff members, ministry leaders are here. Chat with them, right? Grab that cup of coffee and just chat, ask questions, say what's happening in your ministry, and all of our key ministry leaders can give you plenty about what's happening right now in their ministries because it is very active in our world. Just incredible time together tonight. Thanks for joining us, Tom, and for
Thank you
chatting
for having
with
me.
us.
Yeah.
For those of you joining us online, thank you for joining us online. Next Monday night, Brother Mark, our senior pastor, is going to be joining us to talk about Easter week, kind of about our church purpose, mission, and vision, kind of give us some great broad overview of who we are as a church, kind of what we're all about. So that's a great one to tune into. I want to give a quick shout out to Camden, Maggie, Don, Daniel, Elliot, and Virginia for working behind the scenes tonight. And also a big shout out to Zach Massey for all of our amazing sound effects. Thank you, Zach, for doing that. Otherwise, you have gotten your call to action. You can reference this video anytime because it is archived on our Facebook, YouTube. So go back to it and get that call to action, get all those notes, because next time I see you, I'm going to ask you if you watched that video and what we talked about in this video right now, okay? So join us all Monday nights at 7 p.m. Until next week, that's when we'll see you. We'll see you next week, 7 p.m. Goodbye.